out, according to her coach, I don't know if you guys watched that video or not, that he said that without his knowledge, she was taking too powerful diuretics,
Yeah,
and
Oh,
I've
that's
heard
what
that.
yeah.
resulted in the severe dehydration.
And here,
But I looked at that with the NEA is something that we care about the health of the athletes. Where the fuck was this when Elena Haftani died?
Hmm.
here's the
Where
thing,
was
guys.
that?
I had,
They have
I've had,
known about the dangers of this and gear use for decades now.
I've had
So the
four,
sole reason they did that was because of Jody.
I've had four friends: Cedric, Sean Roden, Dallas McCarver, and George all die in the last 10 years from this sport.
Wow.
And and that's just to name. Those are my close colleagues. Those are not just people I'm naming. Those are guys I was close with, and those guys died. Those and when I was an amateur, there were guys that they were pushing. Trey, I can't remember his name, but they were pushing so hard, like a Dallas McCarver, that you can be the next youth Mr. Olympian, and were pushing them so hard that these guys are like Nick Walker's a prime example. I'm surprised he's still alive. Big Ramy, he's kind of on the fritz of retiring. Rolly Winkler, guys who understand. If you look at these guys and their size and this stuff, you have to say it's like, when are these guys going to pass away? But now these guys, Rolly has stepped away from the sport. Big Ramy has stepped away from the sport. There's guys who have stepped away from the sport because at the end of the day, they're like, is it worth me dying?
Yeah. I thought about that with Nick Walker. Like his legs don't look right. You know, the
Yeah.
varicose veins are so bad. And I just thought if what's like inside his body with his vascular system, it seems like it's probably not good, you know?
But like
Right now,
Nick has gotten bigger. It's like he's gotten bigger and worse. And when you're looking at like a Hade Koopa, a Derek Langford, a Andrew Jack, and some of these guys that are coming up, he is not going to be able to step on stage with those guys.
Mm.
And like the one thing that I would tell women in this sport, and it's Georgia's girl, love her to death. She's a great ambassador. She was even talking about her skin, how she, I was watching the thing on yesterday, and she was talking about how she takes care of her skin, how she exfoliates and what she does just for her skin to keep it ravishing and radiant, as she does. But not unless you're a fan like us, and I don't even know if you guys seen it. I don't know if you're not a fan or you don't follow her, you will never see that. But
Hmm.
those are the kind of things that people need to see: how to take care of your skin, how to stay healthy. And I can tell you right now, Andrea does not run a lot of shit. She doesn't. I've had a conversation with her. She doesn't. And that's why she has the look that she has. So when people are like, oh, well, Angela Yo was harder than her, and this girl was harder than her, well, that's not what they want.
Hmm.
And so if that's not what they want, you got to take a step back, and I don't even know who her coach is or these girls' coaches, and be like Christina Menzo is the gorgeous girl. Andrea Shaw is a gorgeous girl. There are some girls in this sport that are still pretty and gorgeous, and that's what they should be pushing because
Hmm.
I think it'll be more appealing to people. And I'm not trying to take away from girls' condition.
yeah.
At the end of the
Um,
day, what we're talking about is at the end of the day, what we're talking about is a look. And Sean Ray said it best. He said when this sport came back, what were they going to do? Were they going to let it go back to the Iris look, or were they going to go back to the Linda look? In my
Hmm.
opinion, Andrea Shaw is more of a Linda look. And maybe I'm wrong. You guys know more about women bodybuilding now. But Andrea
well,
Shaw's look is more
I
than the
agree.
Linda look. But again, it's sexy, it's appealing. And everybody, like, we're four different guys who all would probably think sex appeal and the look. We all may have four different opinions. We may, and that's just it. I like my
okay.
wife's look. I think it's gorgeous. Like I told people, we're only going to go so far, and soon you start changing, and she has it. And Melanie knows the rules and how she wants to look. It's great. And again, and like Jeremy said, I'll go all the way back to what Jeremy said. It's these judges who are not staying consistent because there's some pretty girls out there that can compete, not be as hard, still be conditioned, and all this other stuff, but they're just not doing that. And that's what's but besides the laziness of the women, that's what's kind of hurting the sport as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point because like if I say Andrea, you see your wife. I know David; he has his favorites, and so does Jeremy. It's those particular women I think need to get the push more. But there's one thing I go back in 2013 and 2014. If they wanted a Miss Olympia to fit what they feel works with femininity and muscle, they should have went with Alina Popa. Because I met Leah Popa up front. She's a very attractive woman. She's in great shape.
She is beautiful.
If she had won those 2 years, I think the Miss Olympia would have kept on going because they had a champion who had the look, the physique, and also very attractive. No offense to Iris.
She was gorgeous. I was impressed. I was 5-row back from the stage. And again, I didn't know anything about bodybuilding, but I was like, I remember her having a wet black suit on, and I'm like, she is gorgeous. And you looked at Iris, and I was like, if I want to look at something, I want to look at Alina. I don't want to look at Iris. And again, I'm not, it's like Iris reminds me of Michaela. I'm not taking anything away from their conditioning and their hard work. But if I want to look at something on stage that's sexy and appealing, that I'll be like, man, that's what I want to look. That's what I want to look at is Alina, not Iris. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got a comment here. Shout out from my man Raheem Hamilton. Says this Raheem's always starting shit. Give me a second. He says it's popping up. My computer's getting. He says, mark my word, female bodybuilding will fold and say in 2026. What you about to say, David?
I just wanted to say, I think what we've talked a little bit about with the judging being so different from show to show and not being consistent, I do think that makes it really tough on the competitors to kind of figure out which show, which head judge is going to be at which show or which region. And yeah, I do think that, the IFBB could be a little bit more consistent, kind of stick with their actually written criteria. I know Jeremy has talked a lot about that too, but yeah, I hate that inconsistency. I don't think any other sports quite like that.
Right, and the very fact that you have to shop around for judges like this, what Keith is talking about, the very fact you have to do that shows the inconsistency.
Yeah.
Because you have to go, because Keith is picking his shows based on which one Steve is at. Mm-hmm. Not because that shouldn't even be necessary.
Nope.
If everybody's being consistent with the judging and sticking with the criteria, you shouldn't even have to shop for a judge like that. Wouldn't even be necessary. Mm-hmm. So the very fact he has to do that shows it's inconsistent.
Yeah. We have a comment here from my man Raheem. Says, didn't the webcast have issues? It would have been better for the promoters to have show be streamed live on Tubi, because Tubi just got a contract with the NFL. They were showing some of the NFL stuff. That's a big platform. Also, this is from Gene King. Welcome, Gene. Says, hello, George. How are you? I appreciate it, brother. Could in the future please do an interview with Shannon Rabin Perdis? I've been a long-time fan of hers, and I still am. It would be such a blast that she's so much George. Well, I know Shannon. I got a number. I reached out. She's a busy lady. She's living her life. I don't think she's focused on bodybuilding anymore. But thank you for the request, brother. I don't know anytime soon she has. I will see a check. I'm gonna see an email, but it's up to her. But
she's really awesome, by the way. I like her a lot. That is Shannon. So yeah.
Yeah. This is from a man. Damian J says, I personally looking forward to seeing a tall Amazon powerhouse type bodybuilder compete in any of these shows this year in 2025. Athletes like Brittany Parrish, Christina Nally, and Natalia Kovaleva. And that's Raheem's girlfriend. He got to talk about his girl. He says Natalia is in the lab right now. She's coming out strong and better than ever. Well, what about what about the Bears, Raheem? Get ready with the Bears.
The Russian Bears.
Help the
Bear. Guys, I gotta head out. So it's been a good conversation, guys.
Yeah.
So
I gotta head out shortly too. I want to mention though, I love Brittany Parrish, and I really hope she makes her pro debut this year. She's amazing, and she's one of the most beautiful women I've seen in bodybuilding too. So I'm looking forward to her making her pro debut.
Yeah, Brittany, she was planning on doing Texas. Her I think it was Melissa Tyke. I know Ramona Scottson said she wanted to do Texas, but now they had to change their directions. I think Brittany might try to do Atlanta, and I think Melissa might try to do Chicago, and Ramona, she competed in Chicago last year in physique, so she might do that show, and she might try to do Atlanta because she did those shows, both those shows back to back last year. And she was planning on doing bodybuilding, but she was sidetracked with some kind of injury around her obliques, abdominals, and it took some time to recover. But if you see, I'm telling you guys, I think she has potential. I'm gonna pull up for a second here. Ramona is just an amazing lady. I enjoyed the interview we did a while back and try to keep in contact. She's also worked for other bodybuilders where they are trying to, promote more for for the sport, especially for the division. I think she has a lot of potential. I'm trying to pull her up here, and I know she's posting stuff here and there. Can't get it right now. I don't know what's going on, but maybe later. Maybe I post it later. But yeah, I'm like I said, as a fan, I do get frustrated that it's getting harder and harder for women's bodybuilding to get the attention and recognition they deserve. Because it wasn't for that division, the others wouldn't exist. Not so much bikini and wellness because they were brought in later on, but fitness, figure, physique. That's the grandmother of all those divisions. And it should get a little bit prestige. We all know the reason why, because the fact is that people don't like the idea of women with muscle. They find it um, you know, kind of offensive to them as they see it. Like someone like Tina, who's a lovely lady, passionate
Taboo.
lady. It's something that is not comfortable with. But these women want to have the opportunities to represent their division, themselves as athletes and as bodybuilders. Here we got here a comment from a man, Damon J. He says this: I loved Alina Popa. She was feminine and beautiful back then, and she's still feminine and beautiful today. Um, it says, really, Raheem, you're a fan of Natalia? Because that's his girl.
But again,
And
at the end of the day, they could have did this like you said, George, a long time ago with Alina Popa and changed the pace of the sport before And again, that's why Linda walked away because Linda and I know Linda, and she's an amazing person. She was not willing to change her look that much to retain her titles. And that's when Kim came along and other people came along, and she just wasn't. And if you look at Linda to this day, Alina to this day, they are beautiful women. Tina tell you my crush is Alina. That's my crush, George. You don't have to worry about Andrea. And I tell people, I think Andrea is beautiful because I don't even like black girls like that, but Andrea is a beautiful girl. She is very eloquent. She is very she is very humble. She is very approachable. But the problem is with this sport, some of these girls get so wrapped up into how would I say this? It's like Dexter said one year, and he's like, I'm just a bodybuilder. I'm not a representative of this sport. Well, yeah, you are. And he won the title for 1 year, and then he wasn't the champion anymore because they want somebody like a Jay or Ronnie or these other guys that can represent the sport to a full capacity, and especially when the window for women's bodybuilding is like this big, they want to make it bigger. And I'm on social. I just don't see a lot of it. I see guys all day long, but I see nothing about women. Like I said, I see Andrea talking about doing a quick Q&A on like her skin, but you just don't see the content on women.